Thank you for tuning into my channel. I'm working on the backing for my African coin quilt. So if you want to see that process, please stay tuned. This is my African coin quilt. You've seen it already on several videos. I will link both of the videos for where I made this quilt top, and I'll link it in the description and in the iCard so you can go back and check it out if you haven't had a chance to. The basic way that this was constructed is I had some African fabrics and I made some long strip sets, and then I bordered them with the purple fabric so that it could, to finish out the top, and I like the way that it turned out. Right now I need to make the quilt back, and I got a lot of interest in me showing how to piece, or how I'm going to piece the back of this. And so that's what we're going to do now. The first thing I want to do is take down this quilt, and then I'm going to show you kind of my plan for putting it together. So let me take this down and then I'll show you what's next. I have all of the leftover pieces from my strip sets laid out here, and I have kind of a basic plan in my head and then some leftover fabric, and so we're just going to see what I come up with. Is sort of improv pieced, even though I kind of have a plan in my head. The only definite thing that I know right now is the in measurements that I want to have. And since my quilt is 64 by 77, my quilt top is 64 by 77, I want my end piece to be about 72 by 85 or something like that. So it's going to be a little bit bigger so that I won't have any issues when I'm quilting. So that's the only definite thing. Everything else is just kind of in my brain. So there are three basic things that I'm going to use to make the quilt back. These leftover strip sets. And then this is a gray that I have. This was actually one of my choices for the background on the quilt top. And I want to incorporate it into the back. And then I have the purple here, which ended up being the background fabric of the quilt. I have my binding already made, and it's made out of that purple, and you've seen that before. But I do have, let me show you, I have plenty of fabric left. This is what I have left of the purple. And then I have a pretty good bit of the gray, so I feel like I have enough fabric to easily make the quilt back. But I just want to piece everything together to see what I can come up with. Now, right now, the first thing that I'm going to do, since I've already laid out all of these pieces, the first thing I need to do is take each piece and kind of get it measured or get it cut evenly. So, for example, on a piece that I have a lot of uneven parts, like this strip right here, I am going to cut it down so that it's a little bit smaller. In this case, it's probably going to give me another set that I can use when I get ready to add the borders to it. I also anticipate having some single pieces like these two, and so I'm probably going to stitch some of those together so that I can get a little bit larger piece. The goal is to use as much of this as possible. Hopefully the only things that I will be getting rid of are like the super skinny pieces. The rest of it I want to try to incorporate into the quilt back. So again, this first step is cutting off the extra edges and getting it ready to be bordered. So I'll do that and I'll show you what's next. I've already started with the next step, but I wanted to do an example so that I could show you exactly what I'm doing. My next step is going to be to take each of these pieces and I'm going to border them with my gray fabric. Here's an example. I have, this is like a strip that was cut down to 1 inch. And so I'm going to put, or I've already put 2 1-inch strips on each side of that, and then at the top and at the bottom. And I'm going to do that for every strip that is small. So I'm going to put it around this one and this one and this one and so on, so that it gets bordered on all 4 sides. And then for the larger pieces, I'm going to put a 2.5-inch strip. So around, like, this panel is larger than, or this strip is larger than 2.5, and so I'm gonna surround these wider blocks with the wider strips. So I was looking at this one because I thought that it was all 1 inch, but if you look down here at the bottom, it's not. And so I'm going to cut this off before I go back to the machine. And some of the panels are missing because they're on the sewing machine already. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this step, and then I'll show you how we're going to add the purple. I have all of my pieces framed up here. You can see, like, the strip sets, and they're all outlined by gray. And right now I know that they're kind of floating in the air, but we're going to eventually put that purple in between and draw that the color out again. My next step is actually going to be to arrange these in a way that's kind of pleasing to my eye. And I'm going to, since my design wall is longer horizontally, then I'm going to make the top of the quilt this end and then the bottom this end. And so I'm looking for a measurement of 72 by 85. My horizontal is about 80, 84, 83, 84, and my vertical on the design wall is only 60. Okay, I know that this is going to be my longest piece, and I'm going to put it kind of towards the top. This is my next longest piece. I'm going to put it kind of towards the middle to the bottom. But I want to have enough of the purple outside so that we can see all of these fabrics on the inside, even though it's the back of the quilt. So I'm going to do a little bit of that on camera, just moving everything around. I'll speed up the video so that you can kind of watch a little bit of that process. So let's get started. Pieces in a way that I think is pleasing to my eye. My next step is kind of like putting a puzzle together. Right now everything looks very random. I have to figure out how to put it all together using the purple fabric. Let me grab some of this. The first thing that I want to do, and I've already started here, you can see I've added to my longest 2 pieces. I've added to the top and bottom. And that is just to give me a reminder of how long the pieces have to be. So as I do the center parts, I have to make sure that I leave some room on the edge to fill in those spaces. I hope to have a little bit of space at the top and bottom for the for purple, but I want to start by using the leftovers from my sashing to kind of help me fill in these pieces. And then I have my leftover yardage that I'll use to fill in the rest. Okay, this is what I think I'm going to have to do, is I'm going to start right here. I think I'm going to start with this piece, and then I'm going to measure the distance between these 2 pieces, and I'll start with this one. I'll also need to put a piece over here to compensate for that. But it's a lot of little things that have to go into putting this together. Thankfully, the design wall is about the length that I want, so I feel like I can use the measurements that are on my design wall to kind of help the spaces that I have to fill it in. So I will go a little bit at a time. And maybe I'll take some pictures as I go so you can. I am going to go ahead and end the video right here. I did a little bit of the purple piecing in here, but I want to wait and just have some time to kind of explain exactly what I'm doing. So we'll do a part 2 of this video. Here's part 1. I have everything bordered with the gray. Next time we'll add that purple. So if you have any questions about what you've seen in this video, leave them in the comments below. Thumbs up this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!